Hey everybody, Dan here again, and welcome back. Hopefully you're enjoying some of this stuff. These are videos that I've been wanting to put out, and today's video is kind of no different. I want to highlight some of the stuff that I took on our sheep hunt, and this sheep hunt was to fill Mark's non-trophy tag, but myself and Eric had 2 trophy tags just in case, but follow our Instagram and you'll see how that went. Anyways, the weather that we were planning for went all over the map. So when we were stepping off, it was like plus 20 to 14 Celsius. There was even long range saying that there's going to be snow, but this is the mountains, so we understand what it is. That's the way it goes. So I'm going to start off base layers. And what I wore as a base layer is the Kuiu calf length socks. Love these socks. They're got the fabric where they need to be and nothing else where they don't, because key thing with me is my feet sweat, and in these socks they don't sweat that much. Underwear. I'm obviously not going to try these on for you because you don't need to see me prancing around in my underwear, but the Stone Glacier Merino underwear, I wear these daily and definitely need to get a new set coming up soon. The only complaint I have, and this kind of goes with a few of my other videos with their stuff, is their contour waist system. It tends to fold over, and you can kind of see this highlighting here where the elastic band has kind of started to fold over. It also has to do with a little bit of a belly here, but you get the point kind of deal. Up to shirts. So this is a First Lite Arrow Wick. And I love this thing. This has been a base layer for me for quite some years now. And it just works. It is the long sleeve. It is getting old. It is getting oily. It does have a hood. And what I like about the hood is I don't tend to carry toques or caps or anything like that other than the hat that I'm wearing. And it just adds a little protection to the ears, things like that. And because of how thin it is, it also allows me to still hear everything going on around me, so that I'm still conscious and things like that. Very thin, it just works. If it's too hot, like a couple times during this hunt, I'll just roll up the sleeves, and it's almost no different than wearing a t-shirt. Again, this is getting kind of old, but it's still one of my go-tos. For pants, I went with the Stone Glacier, the Havilland pant. This is the full one, not the light one. I've had these for about 4 years now when I went on a pant fetish to find things. I like them, much like a lot of their stuff. Nice big zippers to get the heat out. I'm a large gentleman, and it seems to work to get the heat out. These ones, being the regular de Havilland, are thicker, and I chose these so that I was able to add the extra warmth when I do them up when we head to those winter type temperatures. So that's pretty much the base clothes that I ended up wearing. And now let's move on. Okay, now we're going to get into the insulation that I end up wearing. So right off the bat, one of the thicker things that I carry around that I actually don't wear too often, but I did find that I wore it on this hunt, is the First Lite, I gotta pronounce this right, Calmath. I don't know if they still have it. It's been in my pack for about 5 years now. It's got the waffle grid fleece, and it just works. When this was drenched and soaking wet, though it is wool and still retains warmth, it's not really worth putting on. I put this on a rock to let it dry in the sun, and ended up going to this so that I wouldn't obviously be cold and freezing. And well, let's face it, I'm a ginger with pale skin, and it would just scare the sheep away if you saw me without a shirt on. So I ended up wearing this, and it worked. The other thing that I also did was, when this was just damp and almost dry and the sun was going down, I put this on over top of it and retained the body heat in to add that like quicker way to dry out. Moving on, I actually didn't wear this as much, but I did wear it a few times in the morning when we had some frost and ice up here. But this is the Cirque Puffy. A few things that I really like about this is obviously it's synthetic, so though it doesn't have the same warmth to weight ratio that a treated down would, it does give it a little bit more water resistance, or if you get a little bit of moisture on it, it's not as bad or detrimental to it. But again, like all things Stone Glacier, you have giant pit zips. I love this. This is the sole reason that I got this. Again, with most of my Stone Glacier stuff, is being the larger individual that I am, and I heat up and sweat when I do any sort of little exercise. I need to dump heat in order to get it out, and this seems to do it. So if you happen to stumble upon a creature while you're just kind of sitting there glassing, staying warm, you can open this out. You don't have to worry about busting everything off, packing it up, and you can still move and things like that. So those were kind of the insulation layers that I wore. Okay, passing the insulation layers, now let's get to the outerwear. I ditched my Yukon rain gear and my other typical rain gear that I got. Again, it seems to me that I have a fetish for rain gear, multiple sets. And this year I went fully into the M7 insulated rain gear. I know I heard in a comment someone that they got worried about it being insulated. And you can't think of it as the Canadian Tire or special mossy oak, not that they're a bad thing, but camouflage hunting gear that you've had in the past. This stuff is specifically meant for mountain hunters and athletic people. Though it has a little bit of insulation in it, it's not a significant R value. It just adds that little bit of extra comfort level. And what it is truly meant for is the athletic hunter to be moving. Again, it all ties in. You got these nice large pit zips, and you have the nice large pant zips. And if you want to see my full kind of review and take on it, I'll put a link to the video and you can take a look at that. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about footwear. So footwear, what I got here is Crispi brick stalls. These are definitely well broken in, and definitely probably could start using a new set, but they worked. They're very effective. They're very light. And the only complaint that I do have is that I had one kind of come on loose and it slipped around a little bit, and I did end up with a blister on my feet. But I mean, that is my own fault. I didn't stop when I should have stopped, and I kept going. So that's a lesson for all of you out there, is to make sure that if you feel something not right, stop and check. I mean, we're not chasing down game. We're not under extreme stress, things like that. Like, treat your feet appropriately, because that's what's getting you off the mountains. Okay, obviously I don't have anything in my hands right now, and I do have two things out in front here. And what these are the gloves that I end up wearing. I did ditch the Heat 3 mittens that you'll see in a past video that I usually pack in order to cut a little bit of weight. But these are the Shale Touch from First Lite. And these are just your basic kind of leather fabrically glove. And no matter what I wear these, it could be like plus 40, you'll still see me wearing a glove like this. I got it, my hands are gonna sweat a bit, and it comes from a buddy of mine that deployed overseas. And he tried to help somebody out that was in a vehicle fire, and he burnt his hands really bad. But like, he pushed through it, he won some awards in regards to it, but I won't dwell on it. And he always told me that he always wished he had a pair of gloves. And that kind of like sunk home to me. And no matter what, these are always in my pocket. They're in my pants pocket. They go with me everywhere. And they're just there just in case. But they don't offer anything more than protection from your hands, from rocks, cuts, things like that. A little bit of warmth, but they get wet really quickly. Moving on, the Stone Glacier I have here. I actually don't know what they are. I'll take a look under, but just an insulated mitt or glove, and they work. They got the touch screen. this is the first real test that I've had of them, and they're really good, and it seems to work for me. Okay, one more thing that I want to add, and that's gaiters. I am a gaiter guy. I actually wear them more than a lot of people do. I'm kind of thankful for them, especially when it came to this M7 gear. You'll see in my video that you have to take your boots off to put them on. And I tended to rely on the gaiters slightly more so that I could get a little bit more water resistance and not my pant legs soaked. I mean, it doesn't stop pouring rain or snow or sleet or hail like we expected, but it gives me, when brushing through the small scrub brush, that little bit of actual water resistance. All right, guys, so I got a couple honorable mentions in regards to kit. I have so far everything that I brought out there and I wore on right now. This is a twofold aspect. One, just to highlight that I don't look like a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Layering works. This is everything on, but the honorable mentions that I want to put out there is two things that I didn't necessarily need. I was glad I had, and I would have worn if it had gotten a little bit colder out, which we expected. So the first one would be actually my Stone Glacier down vest. I love this vest. It is super light, comes in at about 6 ounces, packs up super small. It's even too small to use as a pillow. I think this is nothing weight, but when you put it on, it definitely adds some benefit to your overall package to just bring it together and get that added layer. In the late season, November here, sometimes it hits minus 40 Celsius, which is minus 40 Fahrenheit, for those that can't do the math. And it just adds that extra layer and keeps the warmth inside yourself. So why not pack it at 6 ounces? It works. The next honorable mention is my Kuiu Merino 200 zip long johns. The thing about these is a twofold aspect. Is one, they're full zipped. I actually don't have to take off my boots, and you'll see that as a trend. I really hate taking off my boots once I'm in them. They're tied up perfectly. Example, I got a blister because my boot wasn't turned up perfectly, and now it kind of, not ruined, but made me disappointed my entire trip. So if I don't have to take off my boots and adjust things to put something else on, that's what I love the most. So that's where these are. Now, these are to the boot length, so they sit just above the boot itself. But being the big guy that I am, and the fact that in the mountain, for the most part, you actually are using your legs. I find my legs sweat, and as long as I keep them dry, whether that be keeping them away from the moisture, or whether that be releasing the sweat out of there, I'm usually good to go. The only time I end up turning to these is if the sleeping arrangements aren't necessarily warm enough, or if I am sitting in a single spot on the cold frozen ground for too long. And then these are my go-to pant. With the M7 pant though, I did find mixed with the Havilland regular pant, it had the insulation and the R value that it needed to protect me. I didn't even use my glassing pad out there, and it worked great. Okay, in conclusion, this is what I wore. And as you can see, I'm pretty mobile. I'm not gonna run around here because I am kind of getting a little sweat on. I'm in my house and things like that. So I hope you like this kind of lowdown of what I wore on our mountain hunt and the temperature variations and things like that. It gives you a good idea, because you might not know how to pack, you might not know how to dress. Every person is different. Me being the 6'2", 237 pound man that I am, without really an athletic build, I do have a few extra pounds, so I tend to stay a little warmer. So I tend to pack a little less and things like that. Though this is probably the first time that I went a little more to the warmer spectrum, because I really actually didn't know what I was getting into when it comes to weather in the mountains in September, October. So I hope you liked it. Like, subscribe. I know right now it's actually saying that 75% of my viewers are not subscribers. So if you could help me out, that would be great. And I can't wait to do the next video with you guys. Thank you.